Hi there. My name is Colleen. I'm a parent educator, and I just want to talk with you today for a moment or two about some of the language that you can use when you're talking with your kids when they're upset or when they're, maybe they're unmotivated or they're frustrated and angry. Or maybe you're having those emotions and you're struggling. One of the things that I've used a lot and probably not until my son was maybe in his tween or early teen years, partly because that's when I learned about it, but also I think it's easiest for kids to understand at that age. I started using language of how the nervous system works just a little bit when I was describing what was going on for us. So I lost my patience or I was irritated. Might include a little mention of, the nervous system is overstimulated and you're in a little bit of fight flight, or if your child is having a tantrum or is really angry with you about something. If you're feeling overwhelmed or just even really kind of negative and hopeless about something like, oh, this is never going to work out, though that kind of feeling is often related to a bit of a freeze response. So what I like about this is that it's really neutral because you're making observations about the biology in your body, right? That's just happening. So we are all, at some point, either we're calm and we're regulated, or we are in a bit of fight flight, or maybe a lot of fight flight, or we're in a bit of a freeze response, which, as I already mentioned, can look like some overwhelm, or it can look like being indecisive or feeling hopeless about your situation. Those are just a few examples of many. So talking about it in those terms not only helps to have a neutral way to talk about it that isn't blaming or shaming, and that sort of makes it clear and obvious that these are states of being that happen to all of us. It's not just like you that I'm pointing the finger at. So that's one thing. But the other thing that it does is really brings some awareness to what we can do about it, right? So if your child or you are feeling dysregulated and you're overstimulated, it brings some awareness about how you might help yourself get back into a regulated state. And one probably really good example of when you might be able to use this and make observations in a gentle, non-judgmental way is if your child does some online stuff or even gaming, which can be quite stimulating for the nervous system and sometimes overstimulating. So again, it's a nice neutral way to draw their attention to their body and say, hey, look at what's going on here. And how are you actually feeling? What are you noticing? And this looks like some of the symptoms of fight flight, and how do we get back to being in a calm state? So I love the non-judgmentalness of it. And I really think it's contributes to reducing blame and reducing shame in our families. So if you're interested in how this works, for you, it's a topic that I've just started talking about more publicly. So I'd be interested in having a little chat with you if you're wondering how that would look for you in your situation with your child. Feel free to drop me a little email. Yeah. Thanks for listening today. That's what I have to share for today.